Hey folks, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we're jumping back into our game with Sauromatia. I traded some death gems to Sniffelheim. They're sending me death. I sent them some nature. I think they're making gear, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, they're probably going to send those, turn those things into stuff that's going to kill me, but we'll find out. Their portent goes up. Vengeful spirits are killing. Okay, yeah. This is the kindly ones. It's pretty cheap, 40 fire gems. People are like, "Oh, it's not worth it." Well, it's cheap. It's like 40 fire gems. Think how many times you've wasted 40 fire gems, or like 40 gems in total on a super combatant that died. So for just filling up like a global slot, that's fine. And it's annoying because it sends out these little idiots who kind of come and kill you. And I got attacked. They're going to be 3 attacks a turn until they die. And I got unlucky and they attacked me twice. They tend to target blood mages. Like here, we probably have a blood random sorceress. Yeah, fucking wrecked. So she gets wrecked by this lady. And they're pretty good. They've got Torch of Strife. They've got this one, Maddening Rage, Snake Hair, which is 5 attacks. If you have no armor, you're going to get completely deleted by this. And then Serpent, which is armor piercing. There's another one that's got like an armor negating attack. Ooh, sorry, yawn. And then so there's, like I said, there's 3 of them. One of them attacks at random, so they attacked an Inari, not a blood mage, just somebody. So rip gems. But yeah, that's about how that goes. So anyway, that's annoying. We managed to get Earthblood Depot up, which is nice. And yeah. Apparently Ctis said he was going to put Mother Oak up this turn. I don't know if he bumped into another global and it didn't pass, but yeah, it didn't go up. And we got magic phase attacks by Femoria. And this is the giant, this is the king who we killed last turn, who spawned as a white mage, and he had gear lying around, so he's like, okay, well, to hell with you, Lucid, we're going to come back and kill your army. Unfortunately for him, we have some sunglass-wearing motherfuckers. And, yeah. Now, the problem is, these guys are a liability fighting super combatants rather than an asset. But my communion is going to probably wreck him. But we'll see. I kind of just have to get a lucky roll on Soul Slay before his Soul Vortex destroys all my dudes. So our dudes are charging in. They have been buffed up, I think, with Mass Protection. So they're going to be kind of hard to kill, but he's got a Skultata Volturnus, which is going to zap him. It's not going to help with that, but we do have shock resistance for our blessed guys anyway. These guys are blessed too. This one's got a Stinger. This one's got a Frostbrand. Frostbrand not going to be super effective against tarts. So the Cav is closing in. Skultata Volturnus is zapping people left and right. And Shocking Grasp actually hits pretty hard. It's 18 plus damage, and so we'll negate 10 of it, but then we get the DRN. So it won't always one-hit kill, but it will one-hit kill some of the time. Like that one-hit. So there are 2 one-hit kills for that in a row. Now, what happened, though, this guy had Mist Form and Invulnerability. Oh, it didn't have Invulnerability, but it had Mist Form. But unfortunately for it, that got popped by our magic weapon thugs. And yeah, so Now all of my guys are going to hit it, and once its misform is popped without invulnerability, it dies really fast. Unfortunately, I think... Oh no, yeah, I just killed one of my thugs, though. And then the fear has caused my other thug to run, but it was decayed, and it just dies. So that's that. Our comedian didn't actually do that much. So anyway, true to our word, we have murdered all of the Fomorian giants who are coming into our lands. And I think this gets at... I think, you know, like, Domain's such a cool game. You go through phases where you realize, like, oh man, like, we can hard counter normal units. And then you go for, like, this Repel Thug build. This is kind of what I did with Hinnom. But then you realize, like, it's actually not that hard to hard counter, you know, normal units. Now, the thing with, like, a Repel build is you're also going to, very often, but not always, hard counter a lot of other thugs or super combatants, because you're going to have really great combat stats. So there's nice things about it. But, like, here we just killed it. So anyway. And there's a similar type of problem with Melquirts. Like, if you come up with very specific counters for Repel, Thug, Melquirts, those also kind of work. But Melquirts are stronger, in my opinion. Significantly stronger, in my opinion, than Fomorian Kings. Like, they are heavy heavy super combatants. In my opinion, Fomorian Kings are more like light super combatants, because air and death are not super great against magic weapons. So if you run into things with magic weapons, not as good. Anyway. So that was that. Coming down, we attack here. This is the province where you did a huge PD dump, and this is why huge PD dumps can be wasteful, because you're like... I mean, this was like 500 gold or something, probably. 400 gold, and we're like... Yoink? That was supposed to be Breath of Winter or something. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah, he's like not even breaking a sweat. So anyway. Wrecked. Here he tries to take my Coney province. And this is just not going to be enough. I was going to move in. I thought he was going to send a thug in. I kind of thought he would try to take it. But I kind of thought he would use a thug. A thug would have killed this. But he sent in these guys, which don't have very high attack density and don't have very high protection. So they're kind of the exact wrong thing to send in against a bunch of Coloni. But this guy manages to escape. Here we hit some PD. This is our now reasonably afflicted thug crew that has cleared just an unreasonable amount of provinces. This is not ideal. I really need to change it so they are farther forward. Because I really want them on the same tile when they get hit. Anyway. Oh, wait. Yeah, here we kill the barbs. Here we kill some other PD. Here we kill some more PD. Here, Ctis attacks us. And we correctly anticipate and intercept. He's like, oh, but I brought Mind Burn this time. Think your little warrior sorceresses are gonna get me. Well... We've got OKMR, and we're pretty killy with these Frostbrands, so... This one fails a morale check. Which is a little odd. But I think it got hit by maybe it got hit by a weapon, I don't know. I got hit once, failed a morale check. But the damage is done. I don't think we get the shamans. I think they wake up. Nope. Oh, maybe we did get them. Oh, yeah, we did. Wrecked. Which And then Ctis comes out. So this is interesting because I was wondering last turn what I should do with this province. I felt like he was probably going to attack. I didn't want to keep thugs here because there were a lot of shamans. And we can maybe get a sense for kind of what he has planned. I'm going to just cycle through all the units here. I don't think I saw any gems when I did it before. I think this is just like an enslaved mind soul slay communion. He's like, aha! We will soul slay you. And I'm like, you just moved all these mages out to kill 3 PD. Congratulations. Oh wait, we've already watched that one, right? Yep, okay. Coming down, we are also attacking Femoria here. With very light thugging. This is what was left. Unfortunately, the warrior sorceress who died in that magic phase attack, she was the one leading all my Oryapata. So, anyway, they were supposed to be here in this battle, but because she got sniped, they were left behind. Fortunately, it doesn't end up biting us, but that's the kind of thing, you know, basically you can have some kind of misfortune stack up where you maybe even if you win a fight, you lose it enough where not all your troops make it to the final destination. Old age, 25 units have suffered badly. Fair enough. Here were the Kindly Ones events. We got a warrior sorceress got +1 nature. This one was actually a water random, so she's now nature 2, water 1. Which is kind of nice, like we can foul vapors with her. So maybe I'd do that. Instead of... Right now she's running around as a thug. And I don't feel like pulling her back, so we're probably just going to have her keep running around. Elfbane. It's not a great weapon, but it's okay. And weapons for us we can almost always find a use for. Okay, Queen Hilda now lives as White Mage. Now this is very weird, because she was a size 5 freak. And when we did... Twice when she died... but she became a White Mage. Like a normal size 2 one. And I was doing all these transformations to get her to the right shape to actually twice born into something cool. So I don't know what happened, but whatever. We're going to go ahead and move Queen Hilda down. Now, the problem is Queen Hilda is a blood random. Or not blood random. She has blood magic. So she could be targeted by those stupid... Oh, let's give this to her. By those stupid Kindly Ones. So... I'm wondering if I give this, I might be able to repel them. Got pretty high attack. And they don't have much armor. And this has a lot of attacks. I think we'll do this. If she gets hit, she'll have a decent chance to kill the Kindly Ones. But, like, look at this game. We've got the Kindly Ones, we got Well of Misery. I mean, not Well of Misery. Burden of Time. Eye of the Gods doesn't really count. We'll see. But if Underdark goes up, this is going to be a very high cancer global ratio. Oh, also, I did a test on Well of Misery just to see what rate you age at, and it's 1 year every turn. For whatever reason, I was thinking maybe it was how it used to be in Dominions 3 or 4. But I know it used to be significantly stronger. Like the pop kill used to be stronger. Like here, all the population is going to wither away, but kind of slowly. But the aging rate is only 1 year per turn. So like my Inari, if they've got 20 years, they're going to live a long fucking time. It's not even that big of a deal for me. And then did we go through all the events? We did. Okay. So, what are the plays? Well, the thing is, I don't have a scout here, but I'm assuming there's still a pretty big... Because there were like 200 dudes. There's only 70. So there's a pretty big contingent of dudes on his cap. I don't want to go in his cap circle where he can hit me. Like, raiding here, especially with like a super combatant, is really risky, because he could pretty easily charm the super combatant. So we're going to go send him down here. We're going to have these guys just research and kind of bide their time. And then we might move these guys into this province next turn. Like this whole big freaking army. And then we're going to have a lab here so we can do some strategic reinforcing, which should be pretty good. What I expect is next turn there'll be like a 20-person-ish army, 30-person army, where he's trying to intercept some thugs. And if I were even better at the game, I probably would have a scout available to ping, but I don't. Anyway, there's another thing, which... we've cracked this fort too. That's the other big happening this turn. And we're going to storm it, and I put a ton of thought into script... of my thought. Not that I would use anybody else's thought, but for other people it might not take so long. For me, I spent a lot of time thinking about this battle, because there's so many ways this can go sideways. We're having a discussion on my Discord, and normally in a game, when you have a really big army, you feel confident. And for me, when I have a really big army, I feel nervous. And that's because there's so many, it's a high investment. And especially for a nation where you're relying on cap-only sacreds and stuff, it's pretty hard. At least I have non-cap-only mages that are good. But you still feel it's such an investment. So let's go through the ways it can go sideways. One, I get inside. There's a bunch. We know what's inside, kind of. We know there's a bunch of these guys inside. Furblock Druids. So they're all Air 1, and then some of them are going to have these other paths. So what does that mean? Means there's a lot of things we could face. One is we could face 30 air elementals. Right? We do not like 30 air elementals popping out. The second is we could face storm plus lightning spam. They're not going to be strong enough to do Thunderstrike, because they're only going to be Air 2 with storm power. But still, a lot of lightning spam or orb lightning can be pretty painful. Our troops are going to have enough lightning resistance that hopefully it's not that bad. But it's still risky. And then storm is not going to be good, because then my mass flight plans are not really going to work. So what we're doing to mitigate that, because rather than list all the things I'm worried about, we're going to kind of go through them one at a time, and I'm going to talk about how I'm mitigating them. The air elementals are going to be mitigated by fog warriors. So we're going to do fog warriors out pretty early. We're also, we're going to be doing mass flight, but I'm also going to be doing wailing winds, because I think it's pretty likely that he does storm. And if he does storm, then it's unlikely that mass flight's actually going to work. So it's still worth putting up, because it will cut casualties if I actually can cast it. And so far I haven't seen him cast storm. I assume he can. But his research is also kind of garbage. But he did do a Wind of Death trap earlier, or what I presume was one. So, yeah. Anyway. But it's hard to say what he's got. But I'm assuming he's got storm. So if he does, this probably won't work. Before, I had this at the beginning of the script because I wanted him to jump over. But the more I thought about it, I thought okay, in the case he doesn't do storm, things are going to be fine. If he does do storm, which is going to allow him to A, do orb lightning spam, but B, it's going to make the air elementals he summons better. And it's going to make it so they can summon more air elementals, because they'll presumably, if he does storm, they'll spend the first turn doing storm power and the second turn doing summon lesser air elemental, or presumably they could even do big air elementals. And if he has a bunch of air gems, this would be a totally fine thing for him to do. So that's the first thing we're expecting. And then in the event this thing starts going sideways, there's a really hard battle, Wailing Winds is going to help versus all this for Blood Druids. So anyway, that's the first thing. The second thing, we're doing relief. He can also do Rigor Mortis and stuff. I don't think he's going to do that, but it's just going to help with our communion. He can also do Wind of Death, but we've got turn 1 anti-magic coming up for that. The other thing we're trying to do is we're doing Foul Vapors with this person, but we're doing it on turn 3. And the reason is because I want to have Divine Blessing off before that. But for me to Divine Blessing, I actually have to do a Sabbath Communion. So that means a Sabbath Master, and then Divine Blessing. And just with the timing of it, because this is 150 cast time and this is 125, the way it works out, it won't fully be up before Foul Vapors casts, because this is only 100 and this is 200. But I'll just show you the math. This will go up at 100 plus 100. So this will go up at 200 time, ignoring the hold. This one will go off at 150, which is what this one is, plus like 60. So anyway, later. More than 200. Like 210 or something. So anyway, that is why we're doing it that way. I wonder if I have... Do I have enough? Yeah, this should be fine. Conservative gym use. Oh my god. The fact that I didn't click that, that could have been really bad. Anyway, so we've got Foul Vapors going up, and then on top of that, we've got this guy doing Life After Death. And the idea is, hopefully I can convert all of my non-sacreds into undead dudes, so that we don't have to worry about Burden of Time. I don't have to worry about Magic Duel when I go on a final assault against Ctis or Femoria. Yeah. So anyway, that's going up. We're doing Will of Fates, which is going to make it very hard for him to win this fight. If I have Will of Fates and he doesn't, which he is non-natural nation, he's not going to. But Will of Fates is a very strong spell. And then this guy's also going to be dropping Reinvigoration and stuff, which will hopefully keep my Communion from burning out, because I've got a lot of slaves. A lot of slaves. But it's going to be off-path. So I don't feel comfortable with this at all. Like if the battle goes super long. So we'll see. I don't really know how it's going to go. There's a decent chance, but with Life After Death, it's going to give us a bit more mileage too on how long it takes to burn people out. So anyway, Life After Death, super good. Will of Fates. Will of Fates also going to be good if he sends in a super combatant. What I'm most worried about probably is if, the worst case for me would be if he drops in, he does Storm, he does Fog Warriors, he does summons a shit ton of size 3 air elementals, which is going to cost him a lot of air gems. And then in conjunction, he also puts up Wailing Winds. Especially, and this would be like a Jedi level from him, if he does Fog Warriors after he summoned the air elementals, that's going to be really annoying for me. I might actually lose that fight rather than just take high attrition. But all these little things are going to help, Will of Fates. Fog Warriors is really good against Trample. So anyway. Still, when the air elementals get small, I don't know. I don't feel super comfortable. We're putting up Light of the Northern Star to help with astral spell casting. And we're going to be dropping Darkness too if there's a battle outside the fort. For the battle inside the fort, I don't think I'm dropping Darkness. And I don't think I need it, because there's not a big army inside. I'm probably mostly going to be fighting mages, maybe a super combatant, or at least that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, wait, you should just be a communion slave, buddy. And yeah, and then also Foul Vapors is probably going to kill his mage core if the battle does stretch out. So not only is it going to be good for me, just in killing my own stuff and turning it into undead, but it's going to be good at killing his stuff too. So okay, I think we have been through most of the things. Maybe we do. Might be kind of fun to do Enslaved Mind instead. This guy. So that's basically it. You can see there's kind of a lot, and I still haven't covered all of it, because the other thing I'm worried about, this army could attack me, and I was thinking about it, I was like, there's no way he would do that, because this would be really dumb. We would murder this. But I got looking at it, I was like, this is a swamp, this is plains, this is plains. A lot of his mages, now he's got, if we look at what he's got, well, let me just show you. For him, this is going to count as a plains because all his shit has swamp survival. So if we look at how fast can you move across 2 plains, it's 12 movement points, right? So 6, 12. From him, it will be 6. Well, let me double check. Because it's also, I know it takes longer to move into an enemy province. Plains. Oh wait, 6, so 16. Okay, maybe I was getting worried for nothing. Okay, wait, so if it's 16, I think that actually is more than the shamans can move. Because I know the shamans can move 12. I'm not sure if they can move 16, though. No, 14. So, okay, they can't make it. So I was actually really worried they would be able to move here. I forgot this is an enemy province, and he's not going to probably be able to move shamans there. So that means I don't really have to worry about these guys coming in, but I was worried about it. And if they were coming in, I was worried about magic duel and things like that. Because potentially, especially if there's a battle outside the fort, and he magic duels all my dudes, and then there's a battle inside the fort, and these guys get crushed by what I was just talking about with Femoria, because I'm not getting any of my spells off, that would be bad news bears. So what I have done is I brought this guy in to do a turn 1 life after death, which is still going to be a lot slower than magic duel, so I don't know if it will save things, but if he does anything, like maybe he's trying to min-max and like does body ethereal or something before magic duel on some of his frontline troops, who knows? I mean, these were just in a big fucking ball, so this looks very low effort, so I'm not expecting that. And they're in a, I mean, he would already have to rescript it to magic duel, but that's not very hard. Anyway. It's a little better than nothing to come in and do life after death turn 1. And then darkness too if he comes in. The darkness is actually not relevant. It's not really relevant if this army is not coming in, but I was thinking he might bring everybody. And then it would be nice to have darkness up if this was like his main fight, because I would not be expecting it. So anyway, that is the discussion of this battle. Now the other thing, speaking of not expecting it, is over here we've been doing this like light thug raiding. Now there's a few things I expect. One, I think he's going to counter raid. Like he's going to send up probably similar sized squads to this. But so there's 60 dudes. Like he'll probably send some dudes out here and some dudes out here to like take it back, but not abandon everybody. Now, if he does that, we're going to, I think, slaughter him. We've got these guys on hold and attack rear. We're going to be blessing them. We've got a communion. We're going to be dropping mass protection. Should be pretty good. I think we're doing anti-magic. We're doing anti-magic too. We probably should give you a claim of pearls, actually, and ditch these. Yeah. So anyway, should work. How many slaves do I have? 2. I only have 2 slaves. That's not going to be enough. Oh no, but I have power spheres. That should be enough to do mass protection. So anyway, yeah, that's basically what we've got going here. Ideally, I'd put more PD, because if they bring more troops, I need to have more things to absorb soul slays. And I'm kind of thinking I'd do that. Unfortunately, what it's going to mean is I'm going to have to stop some mage recruitment, which I'm not really stoked about doing. I bet I could. I could get these ladies. So I have magic 1. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just turn off recruitment for a turn and I get a little bit more PD here. Is what I'm a little worried about. I just need bodies. This should be okay. This should be okay. But yeah, I need bodies just to soak up all the soul slays. 140. He sends everybody here. I think we're still going to get crushed. I think I actually have to stop a bit more recruitment, which... I stopped it here too, which is annoying because this was already like building up. I should probably stop it here where I need to think about like where I don't need more military strength. And so I think it's here anyway. So I think we'll do that, and I'm going to put a bit more PD here because I just need, you know, like I'm saying, I just need bodies. I just need bodies. And this should give us enough bodies, I think, where our sacreds can run back and kill their whole back line. Now, as far as he knows, because I don't know how good his scouting is, but he's probably thinking like, oh, derpader, it's just two little thugs running around here and two little, or this used to be two, but this guy retreated up here. You know, a thug running around here. Like, nothing to worry about, right? Well, wrong. We've got this army here, which is not quite fast enough, because this is mountain, or highland. No, it's a mountain. Which, oddly enough, I think do not reduce resources. But so mountain, and then plains. So we actually, a lot of these guys, it's 16 movement points from here to here. A lot of these guys can actually make it. So we're actually sending in a goon squad to get on top of Lanka. We're sending in the undead. We're sending in some of my little cataphracts. We're doing these guys to do kind of divine blessing, whatever. And then we're doing... this person's just spamming out Moss Body. Light of the Northern Star, Power of the Spheres, Anti-Magic. I'm not... If he has everybody out patrolling, which... Why would he do that? Because it just seems like thugs. He'll kill me here. And that's just a die roll we're gonna make. If he has like a small contingent to just deal with thugs if the thugs come on top, you know, like if he has like 10 guys out patrolling, we'll kill them and all the PD here. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. Got a small communion, not very strong. It's like 4 slaves, I think. And a lot of this is just getting like mass protection off and stuff. And then they'll be doing Horde Skeletons and Soul Slay and things like that. But should be fine. These guys are nasty too. Like these guys with Awakened Tattoos and mass protection are going to be nuts. And we've got this guy doing Awakened Tattoos. We've got this guy doing Awakened Tattoos and Blessing. We've got this guy. The Blessing isn't as important because we've got a Sabbath Divine Blessing going off. Now, what are we going to do once we have it locked down? Well, we have a bunch of options, right? We get to see, you know, we get to roll off of it maybe and come over here, like take all of these lands around here. So it's going to open up a lot of raiding options. It's going to isolate this army. We can go back on top of it and kill who he's using to kind of lock it down. The total siege strength of this army is 229. The wall integrity here is 250. So the other option I have is if I'm on top of it with the small group, we can basically, this will do some siege damage, not a lot. Probably like 100, and it could be when I move the second group on top, a turn of half the army and a turn of the whole army might be enough to pop this. But I'm kind of feeling like probably not, because I don't think these guys are going to do much damage. If we look at it, this 75, 90, 100, 5, and then like 10 mages, so we'll call that 120 siege. And he's going to have probably... He's got some city guard too, which are going to have bonus siege defense. So we probably aren't going to make any progress, actually. In fact, it's probably going to take me a couple turns to work through it. What I could do is I could cast Crumble on it. So we'll see. This is going to be really annoying. Like, if I try to take this and he's doing like Mass Swarm and other things and Soul Slay spam, this would be kind of hard to take. I think I'm going to try to cheese this from him and do I don't know what. Or I can ignore. The other thing I was thinking about is I only need this throne to win. This is the closest throne to get to win. And as much as I would love for this game to drag on, when somebody casts Burden of Time, I'm also kind of like, let's try to get out of it. So we might come over here and take it. Now, I was thinking, and I had geared these guys up a bit better, I was thinking of having these guys slam into these unmarked. But I went and tested it once, because these are their sacred. And these guys would just rip these dudes apart. They have 24 damage piercing, like spears. They just rip these guys to pieces in a prolonged engagement. If I'd body Ethereal, I could get on them. They might make it. But they don't. So, yeah, we're not going to do it. Instead, we're just going to go underwater. But they've cracked this, so they'll be taking this right now. If I had some way to zap them, I would. Like, send a super combatant at them, I probably would. But I don't... We're not really a super combatant nation, folks. That's not really our thing. If I had a golem, that could be pretty useful. Maybe we get a golem for the future if I want to send golems after things like this. It's not really Golem's cup of tea, though. A bunch of hard-hitting dudes. But Golem can do Astral Shield, and yeah, I think a Golem could work. I think maybe like a... I just need some way to like heal the Golem, so like maybe a Wraith Sword or something. And then maybe like Stone Boots. We could come up with a Golem kit that could kill this. So we'll add this to the queue. Now, unfortunately... It's going to be 3 more turns until we have Conjuration 8, when we're going to do Well of Misery, which means a lot more Death Gems going the way of Ctis. But that's fine. He's probably only making a bit more Death Gems than me, and I don't know what he's saving for, but we'll find out. Anyway, that is basically that. So hopefully, the next time we talk... I'm going to have all of these guys turned into little upkeep-free undead mages that are immune to magic duel. We will have successfully pinned an army inside of Lanka. What else will happen? I think that's mostly it. We're also, as soon as Vanheim falls, we're probably going to have Niflheim declare war on us too. So that's another thing I had to think about, especially if we start going for a throne rush over here. On this one, or not a rush, but, you know, if we go for the last throne, this throne is going to be very subject to a Nifl invasion. And right now, I really don't have the resources to defend it. So, we'll have to see. I'm going to need special things, like, what is a kit to deal with killing a Jarl? What is a kit, like, what's going to be an efficient way to kill a Jarl plus a bunch of idiots? Being Heat 3 is obviously going to help a lot, and having my throne booming out Dominion will help, but we'll see. We could keep raiding with these guys, but the problem with that... Okay, and if we get Magic Phased attacked, I probably want to retreat. It's the only way these guys are going to have a fight, so we'll go ahead and do that. This is not a good kit for fighting super combatants. It's a good kit for raiding. There's also a fertility cult here, so this province is a little worthless from the gold side. It does have a gem deposit. If we're able to get rid of that fertility cult, it might not be so bad. These guys are going to move out. I'm going to move these guys down because I haven't site searched nature here, which I guess is kind of worth it. Not really. Actually, probably should move them over here. And then we can come over here and raid the lake. Seems to make more sense. And if we get attacked, I'm totally fine. We'll just summon water elementals if he magic phases me. If he magic phases here, we'll kill these guys. This will be a good dude to have around if Niflheim comes at me. I don't think he can man-fight Nifljarls, but he might be able to. We might be able to give him the correct kit to handle a kit of a Nifljarl we know. So we'll have him in this area if Niflheim comes after me. And yeah, we're a little conflicted because on one hand, we're teleporting this dude too, an Earth Mage, on top of this. Now, ideally, we take this turn, and then I can just take the Astral Gear I put on the Earth Mage and put it in the lab, and then I'll just have an Earth Guide to join this communion, which would be super handy. Yeah, that'll be really nice. I'll have to think about what are all the Earth spells we want to drop. There's not much in enchantment in combat. Yeah, not a ton of stuff we can do. I mean, we could do potentially Earthquake in the communion. That's actually not a bad idea, especially combined with darkness and a very early flight. He would not expect that. And this guy would just be able to just drop it as part of a communion turn after turn, and I could keep hitting the communion with reinvigoration. And that would probably be enough to win me the battle at Ctis, actually. The only problem is I think he's going to have Army of Gold. So that's going to be something to think about. Yeah, I'm not sure the best way to deal with... If he's doing Army of Gold with a huge communion doing Soul Slay spam, I'm not sure the best way to deal with it. I think the best way is going to be maybe fatiguing him out, like maybe I drop Rigor Mortis. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. Especially if my guys are undead. Like if I do this undead transformation, I think the play is to drop Rigor Mortis on him when I come down here. Do I have it researched? I do have it, yeah. Yeah. But he's not going to have Mass Flank, but he will have Army of Gold. He's not going to have Fog Warriors. Yeah, I don't know if... Yeah, Earthquake's not going to be that good. First Army of Gold. What other Earth stuff? A lot of this we can't really do. Like Army of Gold and stuff we can't. We could do Living Earth. I'm not really sure. Anyway, we'll have it there. If nothing else, the reason I brought it was just for getting Earth Power on the Communion Slaves, which is super duper good. So anyway, that's why we're teleporting him out. But also, we'll probably put some Earth Gem. I don't know. It's going to be a while before we get Alt 9. Especially since I've sent all of my mages out to combat duties. Cannot have them sitting in the lab waiting until we have stuff researched when we've got Burden of Time up. They must go out and make things happen. So anyway, that is it, guys. We will see you next time. Take care.